If your mornings look like pure chaos, you got alarms going off, someone can't find shoes, someone suddenly remembers that they signed up to bring cookies to class, and breakfast is a hostage negotiation, everyone's dysregulated before the school day even starts. The problem isn't your kids, it's the sequence. You're asking the brain to do the hardest things when it's the least able to do them. There's a better order, and there's research to prove it. Hey there, I'm Amanda Armstrong, a mom of 4 neurodiverse boys who has definitely sat in the parking lot before work crying. Today, I'm giving you the morning routine framework that I've been teaching for 2 decades, and it's updated with a 2025 meta-analysis of over 18,000 kids that proves why this order works. It's 3 phases, 50 minutes, 1 system, and it works with your child's brain instead of against it. And you're going to want to stick around because I'm giving you the exact night before checklist that makes the morning twice as easy. Let's get into it. Here's what's happening neurologically during this morning chaos. When your child wakes up, especially with ADHD, the prefrontal cortex is completely offline. That's the part of the brain that handles planning, sequencing, impulse control, working memory, all the executive functions. For neurotypical kids, it boots up pretty quickly, but for ADHD kids, it takes a little longer. And stimulant medication that hasn't kicked in yet, you end up with a 30 to 60 minute gap where the brain can't do what the checklist is asking. So when you say brush your teeth, get dressed, pack your backpack, you're making executive function demands before the executive function system is even awake. And that's why the checklist doesn't work at 7 a.m. Not because your child's being defiant, because their brain just isn't ready. A 2025 meta-analysis in Frontiers in Public Health looked at 19 randomized controlled trials with over 18,000 kids, and they found that 20 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise significantly improves all 3 core executive functions: inhibitory control, working memory, and cognitive flexibility. 20 minutes, moderate intensity. That's a brisk walk, a trampoline session, maybe a dance party. If movement can measurably improve the exact brain functions your child needs to get through the morning, movement should come first. Here's the framework that I use in my house, and it's only 3 words: activate, fuel, and launch. Phase 1 is activate, and this should last about 20 minutes. It puts movement first, before any demands. Have your kid jump on a trampoline, have a dance party. You can put on a playlist. 3 songs is about 50 minutes. Maybe walk the dog, or take a bike ride, or shoot some hoops, or have an animal walk race for the little kids. The only rule is that there are no decisions during this time. Don't ask what they want to do. You pick the activity, and it can be the same one every single day. This removes the executive function demand from the executive function warm-up. Phase 2 is fuel for about 15 minutes. Breakfast comes after movement. Why? Because stimulant medication suppresses appetite. If you catch breakfast before the medication peaks, they eat more. And a child who's just moved for 20 minutes is much calmer at the table. And only give them 2 options for breakfast. Ask questions like eggs or cereal, which creates a binary choice with no open questions. This should end the hostage negotiations. Phase 3 is launch, which is about 15 minutes. Now is the checklist. The brain is online, the medication has kicked in, and the nervous system is regulated. You can have a 4 to 5 item visual checklist like brush your teeth, get dressed, pack your backpack, check the launch pad. The checklist goes in phase 3, not in phase 1. That's it. That's the whole morning shift. Don't forget the launch pad though. This is the most underrated tool in any ADHD household. Pick a spot by the door, a bench, a shelf, a hook. Everything that leaves the house lives there. Backpack, which is packed the night before, shoes, jacket, lunchbox, any papers going back to school. The night before, you load the launch pad so that the morning is just grab and go. This eliminates the where are my shoes problem because the launch pad answers that question permanently. This morning routine actually starts at night. Take 10 minutes in the evening to pack the backpack. Choose tomorrow's outfit, lay it out or put it in a tomorrow bin, and then you load the launch pad. Finally, check the family calendar. Is there anything unusual happening tomorrow? Are you picking your kid up early for a dentist appointment? Is there a field trip? And then finally, you set one alarm, not 5, 1. Every decision you make tonight is one less demand on the morning's executive function budget. And for ADHD brains, that budget is small and non-negotiable. Make sure your kids are participating in setting up their launch pad each evening. They will eventually need to be responsible for it themselves, so you don't want to just do it for them. Some mornings will still be terrible. Someone will cry, maybe even you. But that's not failure. That's just Tuesday. When the routine breaks, don't add more steps. The fix is actually fewer steps. And don't add more accountability. Try not to lecture in the moment, because the brain that would process your lecture is the same brain that isn't working yet. Save it for after school. Focus on doing the next right thing to get out the door regulated. Sometimes you might skip teeth brushing. Maybe you grab the shoes to put in the car. The morning's goal is to get to school regulated, not perfect. On those hard mornings, debrief at night. Ask questions like, what was hard this morning? And that question works way better at 7 p.m., not 7 a.m. And if you have some time and school starts in just 2 to 3 weeks, start the activate phase now. Just phase 1, just the movement part. 20 minutes every morning this week. No school pressure, just building the habit. You do not want to introduce a new morning routine and a new school year at the same time. Practice when the stakes are low. Walk into the first day with a system that's already familiar for everyone. The change here is that you are going to stop trying to make your child's brain work like the morning routine expects and make the morning routine work like your child's brain. 3 words: activate, fuel, and launch. If you want to learn more, the full blog post is on the Substack with a complete system, a night before checklist, and a Launchpad setup. You can also find the checklist and Launchpad setup in our parent community group. Links to both are in the description. If you try the activate phase this week, come back and tell me what happened. I read every comment. Subscribe if you haven't, and share this with a parent who dreads mornings. And I will see you next week, where we continue looking at back to school.